Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. It is Champions League time once again. Look who's back. Look who's back, everybody. He's back in business. It's not the same without you, Thomas. Never leave me again. And without further ado, there's no more further ado, because I have to say that if you want to cherry pick your games, and you shouldn't, because you should listen to every word that comes out of our mouths, the timestamps are down in the description. But without further ado, let's jump into the first game.
Recently defeated Chelsea host Bayern Munich.
Oh God, this one could be a bloodbath for Chelsea, Tom. Their season is spiralling down the Swanee, isn't it, really? They're really struggling, especially at home. It was a really odd game, let's say the least, against Man United. With some questionable decisions, but I generally think, Man United were clinical for once in that game and took their chances.
Yeah, but everyone's being like, Man United took their chances. In any other game, that match ends 2-2. Any other situation without VAR and a toe being offside and what is a blatant push by Fred, and I'm a Man United supporter, it should have been 2-0. They've been screwed out of a result there.
I think Chelsea have really struggled at home though under Lampard. I think they only lost one game last season, and that's the massive difference between them this season and last season. As much as they hated Sarri, they picked up like 40 odd points last season at home. This season they've only got 18 so far, so they need to improve it. Bayern are going really well in the Bundesliga as always, although it is a little bit more competitive than normal. I'm not sure if you've seen any Bundesliga, Tom.
I haven't, but I know the league table is insanely competitive. There's only a couple points that separate the top, isn't there? Yeah, top four. I think Mönchengladbach are still in with it. They got a game in hand. I think they're only 5 points back. So very competitive for once in the Bundesliga. Usually Bayern are about 15 points clear by this point. But what do you reckon? I think Bayern will win this. I mean, you kind of fancy him, don't you? Like, it's hard not to.
Yeah, it's hard not to. It's hard to think. I mean, this Chelsea side still got a lot of inexperience in it, and you just think Bayern will be too strong for them over both legs, I think. I think Bayern will win both legs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it'll be humiliating by any stretch of the imagination, because I can't remember the last time Bayern humiliated anybody. But 2-1 to Bayern, I think.
Yeah, I could see that. I actually think it's going to be 2-0 to Bayern.
Fair. I mean, the bookmakers have Bayern as a pretty easy favorite in this. You bet Chelsea, you're going to win yourself some money, so Bayern is the smart money.
But Chelsea up front as well. Now Abraham, I don't know how long he's out for, whether he was suspended, but Batshuayi is not the answer.
Why wouldn't you play Olivier Giroud?
I don't know. Why wouldn't you sign someone in the transfer window?
But, I mean, Argala was available.
No, he was lined up years ago for Man United.
He's actually lined up during his Watford days. He went out to China just to maneuver back to Man United.
How does it always end up with Man United? Go on to the next game.
Napoli versus Barcelona.
So this is another one-sided one, isn't it? I mean, how can you possibly back against Barcelona, even if they're not... Oh, no, don't be crazy. Even if they're not the all-singing, all-dancing Barcelona that they were a few years ago, and they got their internal problems, and Griezmann hasn't been a hit. Napoli are poor this year, Tom. They're 9th in the Serie A. They got rid of Ancelotti, didn't they?
Yeah, literally.
Because he didn't do a good enough job. They got Gattuso in, and he's done even worse.
Wait, has Gattuso been successful anywhere he's gone, outside of his playing days?
I can't say I really know too much about who he's managed, but he's not done a very good job at Napoli.
No.
And, this is Barca all the way, really, isn't it? It's going to probably be, I'm going to go same as what I did for Chelsea Bayern Munich. I think it'll be Napoli 0, Barcelona 2.
I'm going to go 3-0 to Barca. And yet again, bookmakers' favourite, pretty much the same odds to win, so.
Well, they're not winning in the Liga this year, are they?
No, they are 1 point behind Real Madrid.
Oh, what a nice segue. Real Madrid versus Manchester City.
So this is the only even odds match the bookmakers have. They don't know which way to split this. Real Madrid are hosting City after City have been unceremoniously booted out of Europe for the next 2 years.
Glory and Bagora, the good times are reigning again. The red side of Manchester will become strong while the blue side weakens and shrivels like a donkey's, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I am immensely happy about Man City. In fact, if you want to hear my rants and rude things, click on the video on one side of me right now because I go in on them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if you want to see a 30-year-old man acting extremely mature.
31-year-old.
Oh, there you go. That's all right then.
I think we made fun of Real Madrid at the beginning of the season. Some people didn't like it, but they're not the all-conquering Real Madrid, and it's not the all-conquering Barcelona, and it feels a lot like Liverpool are hands down the strongest club in the world, and everyone is playing catch-up right now. Like, no one seems to have figured out what to do with their team. City defensively are a shambles. Real Madrid sometimes just don't turn up. Hazard has barely played after an expensive transfer that can be made all the more expensive by Madrid just winning trophies. But Madrid always play well in the Champions League, and as such, I see this being a 2-2 draw.
It'd be really interesting because if you do take Liverpool out, every other club looks beatable. So it would be a really close and interesting Champions League, a bit like Premier League, really. Take Liverpool out, the rest of the league's quite competitive. So we're going to address it then. We're going to address these Manchester City issues, Thomas. Unless you've been living in a cave for the last year, Manchester City may not be in this competition or indeed Europe next season. They currently face a 2-year ban from European competitions for...
Out! Get out!
Indeed. For failing financial fair play. And it all seems a little bit dodgy. I'm not saying they haven't done it, because they probably have bent the rules, probably like most sides have bent the rules, let's be fair. But it does seem like the evidence has come from a pretty circumspect place. With it coming from hacked emails.
I mean, that's how we figured out the US government was spying on all of us.
Yeah, but is that that's not legal though, is it? In a court of law, you can't just drag evidence up from an illegal place.
But the one thing is, like, sporting organizations never use legal means. You look at, like, the home of legalized sport in America, where, like, they've got whole fucking unions and it's all been fucking regimented, and they're allowed to do whatever the hell they want. They can go, look, here, we have irrefutable evidence. You've cheated, and that's that. It's what.
Does it work like that? Does it work like that over here, though? Would it work like that in the arbitration?
But I think it's what you sign up to when you play in a league, is that the league is the adjudicator. There isn't another higher power, and CAS generally will have the punishment. They always have the punishment. You've got to assume that
Can you just unabbreviate CAS for those that might not know?
Court of Arbitration de Sport.
Thank you.
But you've got to assume they're out for at least a year. And there's been rumblings of Man City's finances not making any sense for quite a while. Them and PSG have had fingers pointed at them for years. It's hard to get on side with Man City. No matter Pep Guardiola claiming we don't have any money every year when he's going out and spending 60 million on backup right backs and, 30, 40 million on backup defenders. They have money and they've spent it. And they've spent it heavily. They're the only club, I think, that have spent more money than Man United.
But this is specific about money being inflated on how much they're getting through sponsorship, though, isn't it?
Yeah, which is they're being sponsored by their owner's company. Like...
Oh,
God.
God.
It's like Man United being sponsored by Glazers Incorporated, which, by the way, they would never do because that would involve putting money back into the club. Man United records.
Well, you just said I think they're going to get a year ban. I actually think it's going to be fully overturned. I can see it just being like right at the last minute. I can just say them saying, okay, well, we're going to drop it. It's a big fine, slap on the wrist. You're allowed back in.
They can't drop. It can't be last minute though, can it? It's court of arbitration. You get 6 days, and it has to be like this is such a big deal. I think it's been like.
What, a decision has to be made that quick?
No, the decision to appeal has to be made within 6 days.
Oh, but I mean, the decision to appeal will be made, but it's just like the decision from UEFA, I reckon, will be made last minute, and they'll drop it. And by the way, before we move on to the next game, and I haven't given my prediction on this one, by the way. I think that as Manchester City are all singing and all dancing and unbeatable and one of the best sides in the world, and clearly the best side in Manchester, I think they will win this game. I'm crazy to back them. 2-1 with the greatest defender in the world, John Stones, scoring the winner.
Let's move on.
Before we move on, quickly, sorry, Tom. I just want to say, that wasn't anyone else being dumb about Cas. That was me. I didn't know what Cas meant. I thought you were talking about Tony Cascarino.
He is actually in charge, though. He is actually the lead adjudicator. Right, enough said about Tony. Lyon host Juventus.
Oh, what is it about these ties? There's so many uneven ties in the Champions League. Real Madrid, Man City seems like the only evenly matched one. I will say, it's fucking hard for one guy to go up against the whole of Juventus. So Lyon's done a really, really good job. And I do feel for him. But they are I think they're 11th in the French league. They're really struggling this year. And Juve, again, they are in a title battle this year for the first time in a long time. But they have a young man, a young, wonderful attacking midfielder by you know his name. You know who I'm going to say. Aaron Ramsey.
Oh, that one.
And I think he will lead them to glory in this one. And I think it will be Lyon 0, Juventus 2.
I really like that Juventus is called the old lady. I mean, it'd be more appropriate if they were called the old man. Chiellini captaining him at 36. Ronaldo still going strong at 34 years old. They're an aging squad. Buffon is still is come back to the team for one last grasp at Champions League glory. And I don't think you can look past them in any match. You just feel like their nous in the Champions League is so good.
There's a lot of disrupt in Juve about Sarri, though. He's really not liked over there.
He's just not liked anywhere.
Well, when you say things like, if I wanted an easy job, I'd go work in a post office.
I mean, he makes friends, Ian. If we can find anything out of this, he makes friends. The Juventus side remind me of Man United under Fergie in that they're always going to be challenging. They're always going to be getting quarterfinals, semifinals. They're always going to put in appearances. And it's almost like it takes a while for clubs to buy into the Champions League and realize that it's a crapshoot. All you do is you put out a strong team every year, you play defensively as hell, and if you come up against a team that lays itself open at all, you smash them into the ground as quickly as possible. And that's what this Juve team is. It's a bunch of world-class players. They kind of slammed them together and gone, right, we got a 60% chance of winning this year, so let's do it. And against one man, they're probably going to do that.
Poor old Lyon.
I got 3-0. I got a Dybala brace and a Ronaldo goal. Firstly, thank you to everybody for liking and subscribing. We really appreciate it. We are losing subscribers right now. Randomly, YouTube took 4 from us the other day. I'm furious. Check to see that you've been clicked on subscribe. And YouTube gods and algorithms, I'm sorry for insulting you. We love you dearly. We will sacrifice a goat, lamb, and sheep at some point in your honor. Additionally, have a look below. We have timestamped most of these games. If you can't deal with the ramblings of Madman and Ian, then please look below and click on them. Please check out Grandstand Bettors. They sponsor us. They work with us. They keep spending money on our picks, and God knows why. Their free picks have made over £600 this year. They regularly just give it away. They have a podcast, a website. They're worth it. They're the cheapest tipster website I've ever been to, and they make moolah. So,
if you follow them on Facebook or Twitter, you'll just get the daily tips straight away. Back them. You're done. Sorted.
Exactly. And we really appreciate all of you. Please keep liking, subscribing. Just keep the support coming because, this is a good way for me and Ian to chat, but we love hearing from you guys. Please keep commenting. If any of you would like to know, we are not going to be at a single Champions League or UEFA Cup match this year, so don't even ask. It's not happening. And without further ado, Celtic versus FC Copenhagen.
So we're doing these predictions before we know the results of the first leg. Celtic... I don't think we need to dwell on this too long. They're going to win the league again. They're doing really well under Neil Lennon. They'll probably win everything again in Scotland. And I think they could go far in this competition as well. This will be a nice, easy win for them. I think they'll win 2-0.
Yeah, I hate to double up with you, but me, you, and the bookmakers will agree. It's 2-0 Celtic. Unless they do one of those weird things that Celtic are wont to do where they just randomly implode in a game for no reason whatsoever. Yeah,
I think I'm going to put an enthusiasm meter on for you here, and it will just be running out very quickly. Hey, a little spike at the end for Man United, and then back again.
If there's an enthusiasm meter, I want it to be honest, because every now and then we find something I find interesting.
Yeah, but never in the Europa League. Moving on. Sporting Braga versus Rangers.
Oh my God, what a truly exciting match. There's a Scottish team playing, a Portuguese team playing. I don't know what could be more exciting than this. Currently, Rangers favorite to win. Braga are given no chance by the bookmakers, and I give Braga no chance. I don't care. I don't like either of these teams. They can both go away. Rangers to win 2-0.
It's a little bit of inner turmoil in Braga. They're third in the league, but they did win the League Cup, but they're miles behind the top two. Speaking of a side that's miles behind, Rangers are now miles behind Celtic, unfortunately, and I think they're going out of the Europa League here. So enjoy your trip to Portugal. Enjoy Braga's beautiful three-sided Kassam Stadium ground with the mountains on one side, not a bowlplex. And I can see it being Sporting Braga 2, Rangers 1.
You've gone against the market, Mr. Allen. Against the market.
I think they're floundering, Rangers. I think they're running out of a lot of steam.
Greek powerlifter Olympiakos host raging dumpster fire from London. Arsenal football.
Why are you reading them the wrong way round? It's Arsenal versus Olympiakos. But hey, he wasn't here last week, so he's probably reading off the wrong hymn sheet. Let's forgive him. And you weren't here last week, Tom, so talking about Arsenal was very refreshing to not hear your ranting and ramblings. They're going to be too strong for the Greek side here. Arsenal to go through. Arsenal to win by 3-1.
Well, as much as I want to back Arsenal against a drunk Greek man with leaves on his head, I'm going to go for a Greek win here. Arsenal are a terrible football club full of nothing important and no good players. Who was the last legend that played for them? That's right, it was Lee Dixon, and now he's stuck in the commentary booth. It's tough times for Arsenal. It's tough times. They are absolutely useless, atrocious. They stumbled through a victory against Newcastle, almost trying not to score goals. I mean, what positive thing can you say from that performance? So I'll go Olympiakos 2-0.
Do you reckon Arsene Wenger still employs Steve Bold to follow him around and sit next to him?
Kind of like a dog or something, but without a leash. And he's always just like, Steve, come.
If you can hear alarms in the background, they're not coming to get me, I promise. And they move on. Espanyol versus Wolverhampton Wanderers.
So Wolves are a ridiculously heavy favorite for this match. I mean, for every £2 you bet on them, you're only getting one back. That's how strong a favorite they are. And I think it's hard to go against that. Wolves, for all their early season woes, have conquered their European League troubles and conquered their Premier League troubles. And you got to feel they're going to batter a side who aren't doing that well. And
they're not. They're in the relegation zone.
Good. I thought I was right, and then I realized I'm normally wrong when I make an assured decision on something, but I'm right. So, Wolves to win 2-0.
Yes, I back that up completely. But the only thing I say is I cannot back Wolves to score first. I just can't do it. It's in my DNA now. I have to put a spaniel dog to score the first goal. Wolves to come back and score two others, and it will be Espanyol dog 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. I mean, I think that might be Wolves' 50th game of the season.
Really?
Pretty crazy, eh?
I feel we need to remember that in about 3 to 4 weeks' time, when all of a sudden the league doesn't matter as much and everyone begins to crater, and we're like, Wolves have been good, they'll win, and they lose. And we're like, Wolves have been good, they'll win, and they lose. And we're like,
it's the final game we are here to talk about. It is our main event.
Club Bruges versus
Man. You did the wrong way round.
I have it here as Club Bruges.
It's Manchester United versus Club Bruges. Just trust me. It's on BBC website. I'm looking at it here.
No. I'm not arguing with you. I have this week's odds, not next week's odds. Why am I such a fool? Anyway, look. Man United hosts some club called Club Bruges. It is such an exciting game. This is what Man United fans live for. It is the epitome of footballing success. It's a Europa League round of 16 match where they will be going head-to-head, round of 32 match, where they will be going head-to-head against a truly international side that also once graced the Champions League at some point. Neither of these clubs are in their heyday anymore. Both of them are what could only be described as essentially underachievers. Man United will qualify. It's going to happen. It's Club Bruges. They can't fail this badly, can they? Because it will make my soul come out of my chest. and it will then be bottled up and sold to a Chinese businessman for 75p, and I can't be having that happen. So, in conclusion, Man United will win this. They've just come off beating Chelsea. You've got to feel they're strong enough to beat Bruges. In Europe, they've actually played quite assuredly. They haven't quite forgotten their kind of European pedigree. And in Fernandes, they clearly have a player who knows what he's doing. Man United to beat Club Bruges 3-0.
I had a vision the other day, Thomas. I had a vision that Ollie's going to get Manchester United to a final this season, either in the Europa League or in the FA Cup. And we're going to see the return of that glorious show pony Pogba to come. Trotting around, absolutely wonderful, looking like $1 million, playing like $1 million, so he can secure that move away from Man United. But in this one, I do also see Man United winning. I think it'll be comfortable. I just don't think Bruges could worry. And Man United seem to be playing all right lately. 2-0 Man United. Okay, that will wrap it up quite nicely, I think. We'll be back very soon with more videos. Please give us tons of likes and subscribe to the channel. Check out Grandstand Bettors. And finally, Thomas, do we have anything to add?
If you came here looking for anything other than detailed football analysis, you're in the right place?
No.
You're in the wrong place.
Correct.